It's Dave and Evelyn from the camera store, and today we're going to give you our first impressions of the Canon EOS R6 III.
Now, we had a very brief time with it, but what's new with this latest offering from Canon?
The Canon EOS R6 III is built around a 32.5 megapixel full-frame sensor with in-body image stabilization. Now, we're going to make some parallels between the recently released Canon EOS C50 because there are a lot of similarities here, but we're going to talk about some of the upgrades of how it compares to the R6 lineup in general and just some of the overall updates that they've made to this new camera.
Now, if you look at the general design of the R6 Mark III, it's almost identical to the R6 Mark II. That's not a bad thing. I've always liked the ergonomics of Canon, but there's a couple big improvements they've done to the camera, including a full-size HDMI port, not that micro HDMI port anymore, which is a lot more finicky. A full-size HDMI port is so much more robust. The other thing they've included is two different card types. Now we have a CF Express Type B card as well as an SD card, and that's because we're getting much higher frame rates and data rates when it comes to the video specs.
Yeah, the overall design though is still very much like the predecessors in the R6 lineup. We have the nice Canon ergonomics, the user interface, the menu system, touchscreen. We also have the same electronic viewfinder, the 3.69 million dot EVF, and a similar panel as well for the touchscreen. And all of the controls are also very similar. The photo and video switch is on the left side of the camera, which I quite enjoy. And then also on the mode dial, you will notice a new S and F feature on the top of the camera. Now, we did see this in the R50V, and this new feature from the mode dial allows you to switch into slow and fast video recording modes. In terms of the handling, the ergonomics, and the weather sealing, we're seeing a lot of similarity between what we've come to expect with the Canon EOS R6 lineup. Now, one thing I was very curious about is what they're going to do on the cooling side of things because of all of the advanced video features that we're seeing in this camera. Now, with the C50, we saw that they had a cooling system with some ventilation. With this camera, they're calling it a heat dissipation structure. So there's no visible vent or anything like that, but there is something definitely going on to keep the sensor as cool as possible.
Now, I love the terminology that these companies come up with,
I know,
right?
Me too. It takes a lot of brain power to remember their terminology.
Now, we put the camera through its paces as best we could. And we were indoors, though. We weren't shooting in any really extreme hot environments. And we didn't have any issues at all whatsoever when it came to shooting video and overheating.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we had a pretty controlled, limited test with it. And so we're curious, once we see this more in market, what kind of results we're going to get compared to that C50.
Now, the R6 Mark II on a still side of things is big improvements. We've got a much newer sensor now, 32.5 megapixels there. So a nice bump up from the 24 megapixels found on the original R6 Mark II. Now, it was a lot of fun at the go-karts there because we got to play around in go-karts, so it's a lot of fun with go-karts, but it's kind of a cool place to test the autofocus of a camera, right? Relatively dim light, but we played around with the vehicle detection as well as the face detection, and whether you put it on either mode, it was very accurate. It would find the go-karts no trouble whatsoever, and if we had it on human detection or the people detection, right, it would go right to the helmet of the person on the go-kart instead.
Yeah, it was doing a very good job. And I also enjoyed that because we were in a low light environment, we were able to shoot handheld because of that 8.5 stops of in-body image stabilization at the center of the frame. So this worked really well because you were able to go to much slower shutter speeds to be able to see what the results would be in these conditions.
Now, another upgrade that we've seen in some other cameras like the R5 Mark II is the ability to do subject recognition where you can register a face and have it track just that face in the frame. And I found that really cool to play around with. I could totally see that being such a practical thing if I'm a wedding photographer.
Yeah, or if you're photographing a special team and you want to be able to actually track a specific athlete, that gives a lot of flexibility for professionals to be able to tell the camera exactly who they want the camera to be tracking during a play.
Now, I always liked the R6 series of cameras from Canon. The R6 was fantastic. The R6 II just built upon that, and the R6 Mark III is just another level above that with its newer autofocus algorithms and everything else. But it's still, it's a 40 frame per second camera, 12 frame mechanical. Its video is where this camera really elevates itself.
Yeah, and that's primarily due to the faster scanning sensor. As we mentioned earlier, there's a lot of parallels in the video specs when it comes to the C50 versus this camera, although there are things that you actually gain with this, including having an electronic viewfinder, in-body image stabilization, and also just more of that sort of SLR form factor that some run and gun or hybrid shooters are really going to appreciate.
Yeah, and now the fact that you have 7.2 open gate available to you, it's a really powerful tool.
Yeah, now some other things that we should mention is that you can shoot in a variety of video settings. We have raw recording options. Again, thanks to that new CF Express Type B memory card slot, it's giving you a lot of flexibility in all of your different video recording options. We also really appreciate that full-size HDMI port. We have additional video assist tools like having a tally lamp on the front of the camera, waveforms for monitoring your exposure in video, and just kind of some overall tweaks that they've made to the operation and usability of the camera for video.
Now, something that's also very cool about this camera is the ability to do 4K 120 frames if you want to get into that slow motion. And if you want even faster, you can step down to 2K at 180 frames per second.
Yeah, and just with all of these video creativity modes, you do have things like being able to adjust like your color modes. We have skin smoothing. We also have like a product demo mode. So a lot of the things that we're seeing from some competitors' cameras are built into this. Now, the one thing I was curious about is if they had made any advancements in audio. This doesn't have 32-bit float like we're seeing in some of the other models. We are just getting 24-bit audio with this. But we do have a headphone jack and microphone jack, and so it is really equipped to have all those features, as well as a USB-C port for powering, as well as charging the camera.
Now, something that we both noticed when you're using it in the video side of things is how smooth the autofocus was.
Yeah, and I like the transitions between different subject matter when they're coming into the frame. I liked being able to tap the subject for what I wanted to feature in focus, and it just had a really natural progression to it. And so I like the look of the sample footage that we're able to get in this use case. Overall, Dave, I think that the Canon EOS R6 Mark III is a very good hybrid option. I think that the updates that they've made to it, although they don't necessarily seem massive, I think that they're all very worthwhile and make this a very compelling option, especially for people that are choosing between the Canon EOS C50 and this model.
100%. I mean, the R6 Mark II is a really solid performer and one of our best-selling cameras, but this is just a step up of everything. They've had to update it, had to modernize it, right? With things like a CF Express Type B card, which I really like that card format, and a full-size HDMI port. These are really worthy improvements.
Yeah, and just getting that resolution bump is definitely very nice. Now we're excited to test this even further when we have more time with it, because we want to see exactly if there's any image quality penalty for having the faster scanning sensor in the electronic shutter mode. But so far, we're really happy with the results that we got.
I mean, it was great to pick up a camera, not be surprised by it, but just impressed by it, because everything we shot just worked really well.
But of course, we want to know, what do you think of this new release from Canon? Are you currently a Canon EOS R6 Mark II user? Are you going to get the upgrade? Let us know in the comments below.
And which is the biggest improvement on this camera that you're excited to see? Follow us both on Instagram.
And if you're new to our channel, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. It's been Dave and Evelyn from the Camera Store. We'll catch you again very soon.
Hey, thanks for sticking around and watching our first look at the brand new Canon R6 Mark III. If you want to check out more of our recent content, click up here. And if you're Canadian, want to shop local, check out thecamerastore.com down here.